This is Pastor Jerry of Soul Success. Did you know that the American system is rigged, but you can make the system rigged for you so that you and your family and your community can win? That's right. The United States institutions is rigged. That's what the Pew Foundation found in a survey for September 2023, where it found that more than 60% of African Americans believe that the United States institutions of banking, political system, judicial system, economic system, healthcare system, education system are all designed and rigged to hold black people back. That's from a survey taken in September of 2023. Even though this may be true, it's not complete. What the real deal is that these institutions are designed and rigged to keep power and authority and money in the hands of people who already have it. So if you are a people, a race, a group, a family, citizens who've been without power, without authority, you're not sitting at the table of authority, you're not sitting at the table of power, then the system is designed to keep you away from the table and keep those who are at the table remaining there. I want to share with you something real personal that happened to me in college that opened my eyes. I used to believe that America was an America of meritocracy. That meant that you had to be the best, that whoever scored the highest on the test or whoever had the best qualifications, that they would always get the job, they get the contract, get the opportunity. Boy, was I mistaken. Boy, was I delusional. Boy, did I not know what was really going on in America. But it happened in college, and let me share this with you. When I was at Indiana University, we had our career placement office. And in that career placement office, they had a policy. And it stated that any corporation that was coming to recruit IU students for jobs and opportunities, that you could not apply for the job nor interview for the job unless you met the qualifications given by the corporation. In other words, I couldn't even interview if it said you had to have a 3.5 GPA and you had a major in finance, or you had a major in business and you had to have a 3.0 GPA. If I didn't have those qualifications, I was excluded and precluded from even applying and interviewing. There was this great woman who worked for the Black Culture Center, and she found out that so many African Americans were being left out, that we were not getting jobs, that the career placement office was really only serving white students. So here's what she did. She went to those same corporations and she said, listen, if I have somebody that may not meet the qualification like point by point, but they're close, will you interview them at the Black Culture Center? And many of these corporations said yes. So what she did, she said, I will filter them out. I will find out who has GPAs, who have qualifications, who people that you may want to be interested in hiring. She ended up creating her own system by which African Americans could come to the Black Culture Center in order for interview for jobs. This was amazing. But she ended up creating her own system. Get this. She created her own system. So for those of us who wanted to interview, we had to take etiquette class there at the Black Culture Center. We had to take classes on learning how to dress, how to interview, how to speak. In other words, she created her own system by which she could weed us out in order to participate. And that's one of the reasons I got a job. So I ended up getting a job at a bank that said they required a 3.5 GPA and you had to major in either finance or business. Once I got that job, here's what I found out. Not one person who I was in the class with had the qualifications in order to obtain their job. Many of them got their jobs because their father or their mother worked for the bank, or their uncle or somebody worked for the bank, or they knew somebody. Many of them were history majors, art majors, criminal justice majors. In other words, what happened is I found out that all these people that I thought had to have the qualifications and the merit to get those jobs, I found that not one of them had it except for 2 white women on the job. That blew my mind. Here's what it taught me. 2 things. 1, learn the system of how jobs are given, how contracts are issued, how authority is given. Learn how the system works. If you learn how the system works, you can rig the system for you and your family and your community to win. Number 2, learn who the decision makers are. Not the people who have the title, but the people who actually make the decision. When you find out how the system works, you can work the system. When you find out who makes the decisions, you know who to go to. Not the person who has the title, but really how those decisions are made. I'll give you a great example. When I was on the Metro Council, I found out that a lot of times contracts that were awarded, they had a request for RFQ for performance. And so what we happen is that many times the RFQs would be written and designed to make sure only a handful of companies qualified. In other words, they had already weeded out hundreds of companies from getting the opportunities by the way they wrote the RFQ. So as a council person, I went to the mayor's office, finance and all that, and said, no, I want to help write the RFQ. And by me helping to write the RFQ, I was then able to help African-American companies qualify to get those contracts. Because I knew how the system worked and I knew who the decision makers were, we were able to go into the system that was rigged against us to make the system work for us. I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to encourage you. Yes, we have problems. Yes, sometimes we have that glass ceiling. Yes, that ceiling is concrete. Yes, the systems are sometimes rigged, but you have to learn how the systems work. The systems and institutions of banking, politics, judicial, to learn how do we get opportunities. Once you learn how the systems work, then you need to work within that system in order to make it work for you, your family, and your community. Finally, I want to leave you with this. Many times African Americans say, hey, I don't even want to bother with the system. I'd rather be an entrepreneur. I think that's fantastic. Some of us say, you know what? I don't even want to deal with politics. I don't want to deal with institutions. I'd rather do my own thing because I don't want to deal with having to work within a system that's already rigged against me. I get that. But for those of us who want to make a change, for those of us who want to make opportunities for all of us in the system and without the system, it is important that you learn how it works, whether it be corporate or government. Whether you're going up the corporate ladder, you need to learn the system, get mentors, find out who makes the decisions. You'll be surprised that the person who has a title is not the person that makes the decision. My last antidote to you is this. I remember being on the Metro Council, and we thought that the mayor's office was going to make decisions regarding some contracts. You know what we found out? It was the mayor's wife who had greater influence on the decisions made by the mayor than the mayor's staff. Once I found that out, I started calling the mayor's wife to get her advice and work with her on how do we make sure that we get more African Americans opportunity. Again, learning how the system works and learning in this particular area who's the real influencer, who's the real decision maker. If you want success in a system that may seem to be rigged, you got to learn how to rig this system yourself. If you don't want to deal with it, that's fine. But for those of us who want to create opportunities within the system and without the system, I hope you've learned something today. It's not enough just to complain and say the system's rigged. No, we want to move the needle. We want to turn the table upside down. We want to create opportunities. So learn the system, learn the decision makers, and I guarantee you, you will learn success and experience it. I'm Pastor Jerry of Cathedral of Praise. This is Soul Success. I'll see you next week.